Well, hello everyone, it's Kari back again with you on the channel. I have a card to share with a little bit of a mashup of products from Missing Stamps. I pulled out 3 stencils here. This is the Floral Wave Offset Stencil, the Diagonals Masking Stencil, and the Starry Night Stencil. And any of these would work. I'm going to use 2 of them today. And then I have the Magical World stamp set and die. I'm going to use the largest castle from this one and then mix it up with Storybook Alice and use that open book right there to create a castle coming out of there. Now, if you have this A2 castle scene die, you could use that instead of the Magical World stamp set. So you can mix and match your products and make it look like this magical castle coming out of that storybook. I'm going to start by creating the background, and we're going to be creating a magical storybook looking background. It's going to be beautiful with these oxide inks. I'll start out with the tumbled glass oxide ink, and now I'm going to bring in some shaded lilac oxide ink, and I'm just putting them in weird random places because we're going to bring this all together with a magical touch. This one here is the Wilted Violet oxide ink, and I have separate blending brushes for my oxide inks than I use for regular inks. I find that this works better because the formula is a little different from the regular distress inks. So these are my oxide ink brushes. This one is the Prize Ribbon oxide color, and I'll put that in various places as well. And then I'm going to go back through the colors just to blend them a little bit more. And I know this doesn't look magical yet, but wait, because we're going to bring it all together and I have a lot more to add to this background. Now I'll bring in the black soot and go around the entire perimeter of the panel. And this is an A2 size card, by the way. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to add this ink all over the top. This will make it look even more dreamy, kind of like a foggy night with some colors in that background. It is still looking a little bit crazy, but we're not done yet, so don't worry. I'm going to clean up my station here, and then I'm going to bring in that Floral Wave offset stencil. This one's gorgeous. You could also use that Diagonals masking stencil to create kind of a lighted look behind it, but I just love this Floral Wave offset. I already have a little bit of pixie spray on the back of this because some of those lines are quite thin and delicate. So I find that it helps to have that pixie spray. And then I'm going to take my dauber brush here, and this one has interchangeable little sponges for the ends, and so I love that I can change it out for the colors. And then I got a little bit impatient, so I came in with my white blending brush, but I found the pouncer worked the best. That was so much easier to get in all the little nooks and crannies. So I went back to the blender pouncer there, and that'll do it right there. Now I want to add some stars to the background with that Starry Night stencil, which is so beautiful. It's got different sizes of stars, and it's perfect for this magical look. So I'm going to take some white glossy paste and use some silver mica spray in there. I thought that the mica spray would add some glittery effects to this paste, but it really didn't. It really just kind of turned it a little bit gray, and I wanted it to be a little darker, so I'm adding some black soot in there just to get a little more gray, and that's going to work out really good right there. So now I'll add the stencil, use my magnets to hold it in place, and spread that gloss paste right over the top. So when we remove that stencil, you'll see that it still looks a little bit white and it's still wet, but this will dry kind of a clear gray glossy. which is really fun for a magical background. Now I'm going to add some silver effects to the background as well. So I've got some foundry wax, and I'm just using a paintbrush to kind of lightly tap that on the background. Now I'm going to let this dry before I heat set it because I don't want that gloss to completely bubble up. So I'm going to wait to heat set that for a little bit while I color my images. I've already stamped out the Magical World Castle, and I'm going to color up the rocks with some neutral grays, starting with the N5, N3, and then the N1. I'm just going to show you one of them because they're all colored in much the same fashion, and I'll just go through and blend them back and forth until I get the rocky look that I'm looking for. So I finished coloring up those rocks, and now I'm going to color the castle in a dark purple. So I've got BV29, BV25, and BV23. And those are the colors, the purpley dark gray colors that I'm going to use on the castle. Now this is going to look like a night sky castle. That's why I'm using such darker shades and kind of a grayish tone on those as well. But in the end, I think it helps to add to the magical feeling of this card. There I'm bringing in the BV20 just to finish it all off. So there's the coloring, and now for the storybook, I want it to be blues, but darker shades of blue. So I've got the B99. I'm going to bring in the B97, B95, right there. And then I think I even bring in one shade lighter. And I'm just going to blend this through. So I was thinking about just coloring those book pages gray, but we have a lot of gray going on already, so I just wanted to bring more of the blue in. That's where this comes in, and there's the B93. So I'll use all four of those colors to color up this storybook, and I'm going to add darker colors once again, blend this out. So you'll see me going back and forth with the colors there. Just like so, some darker ones in the center, and blend that all through. Once I'm finished with all the coloring, I will use the coordinating dies to cut out both the storybook and that Magical World Castle. And I'll send those through my die cut machine, and then we're ready to start building our card. Now this has pretty much dried, that gloss gel has dried. So now I'm going to go ahead and heat set that foundry wax. And if you don't heat set it, when the foundry wax dries, it will basically just flake off. So you really do want to heat set that, and it also brings out more of the shiny tone, metallic look of that foundry wax. So look, you can see the shine of the gray stars and the shine of the metallic foundry wax. I think it's so pretty. Now look at these put together. They are stunning, but I wanted to trim off the white on the top of the book so that they looked like one continuous image. I'm just going to trim that part off, then I will glue them together and then add some foam adhesive to add this to our card today. So I also went ahead and added some white embossing powder to some VersaMark ink, and I heat set that, and it says every day holds new magic, and that's also from the Magical World stamp set. So now here's where I'm going to glue these two together, add some foam adhesive to the back, and then attach that to our card. We're getting close here, getting real close. And I just think this is such a magical look. In real life, it really just looks so dreamy. I hope it comes across on the video as well. I love that stencil. One last thing I'm going to bring in is the Magic Stars mini die set. I cut out all those stars with some silver glitter paper, and I'm going to add them here and there behind the castle, just kind of coming out, following that offset floral wave offset stencil design. And then I'll attach all of those with some liquid adhesive. It's just adding to the magic, adding to the wonder of all of this. I'll attach those with some liquid adhesive using my gem picker here. And then we can add this to the card base and take a look at the magical effect that stencil, the stars, the glitter, the foundry wax, all of that comes into play together nicely to create this magical storybook feeling. It's a magical castle, a magical world. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this video today. I really enjoyed making it. I've had this card in my head for quite some time, so I'm really glad I got to make it with you today. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back real soon with more inspiration. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.